a special guest today, Robb Marr, who is Director of Corporate IT at DNP.
Just to clarify, so DNP as a whole is a huge, maybe $15 billion conglomerate based out of Japan. I don't run all of their IT. I run the IT for DNP Imaging America, which is maybe a $300 to $400 million subsidiary of that giant conglomerate.
Oh, okay. Got it. Do you want to start by talking about your specific responsibilities then?
Yeah, sure. So my responsibility here is all of corporate IT. So I have infrastructure, telephony, application support, and that whether that's ERP, CRM, or anything that we bolt onto it. We also have a development team that develops a little kiosk you use at Walgreens and develops applications for our photo booths. They are not my responsibility, which is good because they're the wild, wild west over there. But everything else IT related runs up through me.
And how long have you been with DNP again?
Been here right at 3.5 years. So not a long time, but definitely long enough. It seems like it's been forever.
I'm sure. So throughout the years, DNP has gone through numerous acquisition processes. Do you want to talk a little bit about that history?
Yeah, so we really have technically 4 lines of business. Photo, which we've talked about, the huge customer there is Walgreens, and that's making photo paper and photo printers and that whole business. We also have a barcode division in Pennsylvania, and that's thermal transfer printers. The new addition in Japanese, they call it kodozukuri, which is just a new way of doing business. And so just about the time I started, so a little over 3 years ago, we bought a photo booth business in New Hampshire. So if you go to a mall, a zoo, a park, anywhere you see a photo booth, there's a high probability it's us. If not, it's an Apple product, but we don't talk about them. And then just recently, we purchased Color Vision. So if you've been to a Universal or a Cedar Rapids type park and they take your picture on a ride or with a character or at any spot in the park, that is the business we now own. So, but yeah, that's kind of how this organization is expanding, is through those types of acquisitions.
Oh, very cool. I've definitely seen a couple of those before. Can you share some challenges you're facing currently or you have faced recently, whether that's IT infrastructure, maybe your Epicor environment, whatever that may be?
We have a lot going on, a lot around integration. So if you think about ERPs, 99% of the businesses take products, they put them together, or they manufacture them and they sell them to a customer. Well, the photo booth business doesn't do that. They manufacture a booth to become a fixed asset to then lease out to a space out in the field, and then do revenue sharing of 50 million different flavors depending on the customer, and have service technicians that service them that don't work for the company. And so there's been a lot of financial challenges there. How do you wedge that into an ERP system? And kind of the same kind of setup with Color Vision. They're not really a manufacturer. They take pictures and save the pictures. So it's almost more like a vending machine or e-commerce type setup. And so we've had some challenges in trying to figure out how to fit them into Epicor. And you may say, well, why do you do that? Well, they're pretty small organizations. We typically gain them because they're not making money. We want to make them as efficient as possible. And so the initiative coming up from on high is, I don't want additional audits because we're running different books, make them fit into our book. So that's been one of our big challenges, of trying to make businesses that aren't exactly the same as ours fit into our business model and our processes, specifically from a financial standpoint. We also have a lot of, one of the other projects we have going on is trying to put in ECM. We have some aging applications that predecessors have put in for different reasons. So we're finally starting to get this business to really use Epicor and start adding on modules they haven't purchased in the past, and to get as much as possible into one system to have one source of truth. So that's kind of what's on the horizon and what we're pushing towards now.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So you mentioned ECM. Can you dive a little bit deeper into how you're leveraging that add-on?
Yep. So right now we have just, like within the last month, set up our test environment to put in purchase requisitions and API automation. So that's where we're starting. So again, just the test environment running. We're kind of working through approval matrices now that they have in place and how to make that work. So very early on in that project, we will go through AP automation, hopefully before April, May timeframe, and we'll follow up right on the heels with sales order automation with that.
Okay, got it. Are there specific problems that led you to this solution, specific problems you're hoping to solve with ECM?
A lot of manual data entry right now. We're estimating, I think it was a crazy number, like 300 hours, man hours a month, just in reducing manual data entry and workflow kind of management in that regard. We also, the Japanese are very robust in their approval processes and documentation and audit. So getting that all in one system will definitely reduce some of that requirements in the future as well.
Are there any other challenges that you're facing, maybe in result of the modernization we're seeing and being in a tech-focused role?
The challenges I'm seeing and kind of what's changing is everybody coming in, all the new employees think they know how to use technology. I mean, they've all grown up with it now as opposed to back in our day where, this technology, I'm not touching that, let the IT guys handle that. So keeping an eye on, the business and what they're running off doing on the side that we don't know about is a big challenge. I just, within the last month, inherited support of I think it was a 40-screen, 8 different access database applications that a quality manager built over his 20-year career, and he retired. And I was asked by the head of supply chain, "Are you going to support that?" I said, "I don't even know what that is or what it does." So things like that are a huge challenge for IT now. So a lot of my job now is somebody coming and saying, "Hey, I want to use this," and me having to figure out, all right, what's that going to do to me? What's the security risk of that? Where's our data going? So putting up guardrails around applications like that and trying not to stifle the business. I mean, I want them to be successful. I want them to be able to do things. And if they can do it without my team's help, great, as long as we're in agreement of, what's the guardrails around that? How do I keep that secure? How do I make sure you're not causing me more troubles down the road?
Yeah, we hear that a lot from clients. I do have a burning question, being in marketing and all. How does someone reach a busy professional like yourself? Like, what catches your eye in an email or your ear when it comes to a phone call? Is there a secret? I mean, you probably get so much outreach on a daily basis, so you have to be picky with what you decide to engage with.
If I tell you that, all the other IT directors in the world are going to hate you because then you'll know the tricks. But I have silenced all calls to my phone where it's an unknown number. You'll never get me to answer a phone call if I don't know you already. So that's just me. Emails, I don't look at the message, but it's got, at this day and age, it's got to be something that an issue I'm already facing. So it's just luck of the draw that you hit my inbox when I'm looking for the product you're pushing. Same with LinkedIn. I mean, you're right. I get a lot of, "Hey, I want to join whatever," and I'll look at them. And if there's not a connection I don't already know, and you're not already working with some of the people in my market, and it's probably not going to happen. So email, I don't know if there's anything you can do to know when a company is facing the issue you want to solve for them. But it's almost just sheer luck that you happen to hit my inbox when I'm looking for that. It does happen. I mean, we're talking about replacing our telephone systems within the next 2 years. And I've looked at some I've already known in the past, and it just so happens that one of them pinged me just last week and said, "Hey, what's going on in your phone systems?" I'm like, wow, like, are you psychic? Or it's just really sheer luck of, like I said, hitting that window when that's the need.
That's fair. So you've been working with us, and by us, I mean primarily Susan, your success manager, for a while now. And she is probably one of the best people when it comes to really leaning into the partnership aspect of her role. So can you talk about what partnership means to you, or maybe the most important quality in a true partnership?
Yeah, the key to me is transparency. Just knowing what's going on. I mean, if there's something you can't do, just tell me, "Hey, we can't really do that. Hey, maybe we talk to these guys." I love that. we had a project where something came up. He said, "Yeah, that's not in our wheelhouse. I'm going to go talk to these guys." And that's what I'm looking for. I don't want you to try and fit and solve every single problem I have. I mean, just tell me what you can do and what you're good at, and we'll work out the rest. So being transparent about what's going on is phenomenal to me. Integrity is also big. If you're going to tell me something, you're going to do something, let's do it. And I understand problems come up. I mean, it happens to us every day. That's why we're kind of here, is to solve problems. And if problems come up, no big deal. Just let me know. So to me, that's the keys, is really transparency and integrity.
Great. Yeah, I liked all of that. One of our pillars actually is we can do it. And if we can't, we'll find someone who can and introduce you. And we talk a lot about that in the sense of we'll never walk away or say no and leave you hanging. But the other part of that is that awareness and respect of you and our clients' time, that we know we can't do it all, right? That's why we have a network of other professionals that we can lean on. We're experts in what we do, Epicor, cybersecurity, Microsoft licensing, but that doesn't cover everything, and we are aware of that. Okay, so you had mentioned the younger employees earlier on that DNP has been hiring. What have you seen from their technology expectations, or how do you balance their expectations with company efficiency maybe? Being in this generation personally, I can speak firsthand. We look for more advanced technology first companies because that's familiar and almost second nature to us. So I guess I'm curious if you've seen more demand from the tech side of things with this employee base.
Not really. We stay fairly current and try and, I guess, limit the tools we can use. So for AI example, we are a Microsoft shop, so we open up Copilot for them, and we'll give them one more, like a Gemini. And then we lock down things like ChatGPT or anything that may be a little questionable from a security standpoint. So we haven't seen a large influx of new folks asking that kind of thing. We do have a pretty good team now from a data analytics standpoint. And so we've kind of had to expand our footprint there, not necessarily from a technology standpoint, but just access to data. They're pulling out more and more data to do analytics on it than ever before. So we've done a lot of work around, BAQs or different data dips to let them get in there and see that information. So it hasn't come yet. We have, like I said, different guardrails around technology usage, and just make sure that you're checking with us. So if you're building something, it's something we can support going forward. But I can see that happening more and more. One of our bigger challenges are people coming in that have used different ERPs that maybe had different terminology or work slightly different. And they say, I want to work exactly like that one did. I'm like, well, no, that's not what happened, but this is what I can do for you instead. So that's kind of one of the challenges we're facing now on a more regular basis.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for hopping on. I haven't had the privilege of working with you directly, but I know our whole sales team always enjoys your conversations, forward thinking, and overall partnership that we have with DNP. So we are grateful, and we are excited to see where it goes in the coming years.
Sure, yeah. Okay, to meet you, and definitely enjoyed it. So anytime, I'm just ping me, and I'm happy to answer questions.